All right, so something crazy is happening with Bitcoin right now, and I think it has the potential to push Bitcoin back to all-time highs. And I'm not even joking. However, there are a couple of things that also needs to happen to make this possible. For a couple of weeks now, Bitcoin has been trending downwards, and this has made a lot of people lose interest in the market, generally speaking. However, the crazy thing about this market is that whenever the sentiments of the general public is switching to a particular direction, you should probably know that you want to be taking the opposite direction. So right now, all over social media, a lot of people are really, really bearish on Bitcoin right now and crypto generally speaking. But to be honest, I think I found a couple of things in the chat that is really, really contradicting this stance. I think crypto is really bullish or is about to get really bullish. All right, so enough talking. Let's get to my screen. All right, so this is Bitcoin on the 1 week time frame, and as you can see, I've marked out a couple of yellow lines here for you to observe. So I'm just going to be walking you through these things and why they're extremely significant. So pay attention to this stochastic RSI downwards here. This stochastic RSI is very, very important to show momentum in the markets, whether the market is bullish or bearish. So right now, let's mark all the points in the markets for the bullish and the bearish scenarios. But first of all, let's understand this indicator. So this indicator right here, I only marked out the places where we had the blue cross. Whenever we have the blue cross crossing above the orange line, it simply means that there are more bulls in the markets than there are bears. You know, whenever we have that situation happening here, whenever we have that cross, it means that the bulls are getting ready to, you know, push prices a lot higher, right? So now that we've established that, obviously the opposite of that would be when the blue line goes below the orange line, and that will show bearish momentum. But right now, we are discussing only the bullish aspect of it. So look at this. The first time that this happened, no, actually, this is not the first time this happened, but on this chart, I'm choosing to mark here because I don't want to have to go all the way back to 2009. So let's start from 2022, right? So look at this cross here. We had this amazing cross to the upside here, and Bitcoin went up by over 43%. This is not something that I'm making up. You can see it in the chart. After this cross happened, we had a um we had a 43% pump to the upside, right? Now look at the next time this happened. After this cross happened, we had a 48% pump to the upside. It's still the same 2022. And then we had this cross again here. After this cross happened, we had a what? 28% pump. Look at this one here. After this cross here, we had 48% pump. This was last year, 2024. After this cross, we had a 97% pump on this one. No, sorry, 75% pump actually on this one. Then the next one here was May. We had 16% pump, which is like the lowest so far. Then we had this one here, 26%, and we had this one here in September to bring us to about 95%. And now we are having another one. So here is what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin actually. Just by going over this data, it would be actually stupid, actually, for lack of better word, inexperienced, or, you know, to start opening bearish positions. You guys know what I'm saying. Don't let me use the word stupid. You guys are not stupid. People that watch my channel are not stupid people. All right, but I think it will make sense for Bitcoin to have bottomed out here. I think it's possible that 78K might have been the bottom. It's a very huge possibility at this point. As a matter of fact, I would say it's like 60 to 70% that's the situation here, except we have a brief week to the downside. Here's the thing about this cross though. It's not necessarily the ultimatum. It does not necessarily mean that, oh, from here it's straight to $150,000 for Bitcoin. Not necessarily, but it just means that a cross has happened. You know, that's exactly what it means. It means that the cross has happened. And but if you go back in time, you see that each time that this happens, it does lead to a pump in the market, which is why we are seeing the markets move up slowly. It does lead to a pump in the market, but it's not always going to be a massive pump. So whenever you see something like this, it probably makes sense to expect a little bit of a pump in the upside, or to the upside rather. And as you can see here, we had this cross here in May, but we didn't hold it for too long, which was what led to this, to it being a 16% pump. As you can see, we came back down to even establish lower lows, right? In price action, we had lower lows, but on the oscillator, we had like a double bottom situation. So this alone is already like a double confirmation of the fact that we are going to experience bullish momentum. And then we also had what I like to call a divergence in this part here, where we had a low here in price action, and we had a lower low in price action as well. Or would we even call this a double bottom? But we did weak below here though. But as you can see, we established higher highs on this stochastic RSI. So obviously, this is something that one needs to pay attention to. In my opinion, I think that this cross here would probably lead to something interesting on the daily time frame. So let's go to a lower time frame. So what I'm looking at right now, I'm currently in a position for Bitcoin. If I tell you guys the experience that we had on trading Bitcoin this week, you laugh at me, but it's just what it is. But yeah, in the course of trading this week, we did experience some losses, and that portfolio that was $2,000 is now down by over $400. So we're like around 1.6 as we speak. But it's part of the game. Losses are obviously going to happen, so you just have to prepare yourself for it. Actually, let's go to the 4 hour time frame. So this is Bitcoin on the 4 hour time frame, and I actually opened a long position to predict that markets would break above these various resistance levels that I've marked in the markets. However, I don't think the pump is going to last for too long, in my opinion. And my major reason for saying that is because of this on the daily. On the daily time frame, we are actually having a bearish cross on the stochastic RSI. So that alone is a really significant event. But we need to see what happens on the 4 hour first before we flip bullish. I want to see prices, get to a major resistance. Even if prices gets to here, maybe 85K, maybe I may then open a short position, because of the simple fact that we are still in a downtrend, and we just had like a mini uptrend. But I need to see prices get above, get to a resistance level, and then actually find resistance there before I would switch to being bearish in the markets. Yeah, I think that would be really interesting to see. But majorly, the star of the day is this weekly stochastic RSI cross that we just had. And I think it would make sense to actually start adding some bags to your portfolio. It's not financial advice, obviously. Do not take it as financial advice, but this is what I'm doing anyway. I actually purchased a couple of crypto projects, and they're in my portfolio. Whenever I make a purchase like that, I always post it in my private group. So if you're in my private group and you're watching this video, then you should check all the um pinned messages. You're going to see a list of crypto projects that I'm invested in, and also you're going to see a link to videos that I've made in the past, and also you're going to see a link to all the videos that we've made regarding the trading challenge and strategies that I'm using for trading. So if that's something you're interested in, you should join my private group where you're going to get access to all of this information. It's just $3 per month. Check the description below to get access to me, so you can message me about your interest. Right. So this is the star of the show, guys. This stochastic RSI cross. It is really significant. Don't joke with it. I really think that for the simple fact that this is happening right now on the weekly time frame, it makes sense to start buying some things. The same reason I was bearish, when this cross happened, it's the same reason I'm bullish right now on crypto. So that is all I have to say, guys. Subsequently, I'm going to be talking about a couple of other projects as well. I won't just be talking about Bitcoin. Moving forward, I'm going to be looking into some altcoins that I'm adding to my portfolio or that I've already added to my portfolio. For example, Cardano, everybody knows, or maybe not everybody knows actually, but those who have been in my community right from over 4 or 5 years ago, you should know that I'm a huge Cardano fan, and Cardano is actually one of my biggest bags. So imagine my excitement when I heard Donald Trump mention it. Anyway, so I'm going to be making videos about altcoins moving forward. Not like I won't be making big videos about Bitcoin, but I'm also going to include altcoins and some projects. It won't be too crazy like that. I won't be shilling projects to you guys. I'll just be showing you a couple of things that I looked into. For instance, look at this here. This is actually Jupiter on the 1 week time frame, and as you can see, Jupiter is actually deep in an oversold territory in regards to price action, because this is actually the same price that Jupiter was when it literally started printing this chart history, this candlestick here. So obviously something like this is a really juicy spot to start getting into the market, especially since Bitcoin is not even done pumping and we kind of just had a cross on the stochastic RSI. So things like this should be interesting. So yeah, I actually copied about a bit of this. That's just a sneak peek of some of the things that I'll be talking about moving forward. So here, I think that's all I have for today's video. If you liked this video, smash the like button, subscribe, share, do all that nice stuff. All right. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.